You know, it's really easy to put God up in heaven and kind of think that he's like disconnected from our daily lives. There's actually a word for that. It's called deism, where we put God up in heaven and he's like all lofty up there, and then we like only pray to him when we really need him. Like maybe the plane is crashing and we're like, God save me! Or we just want something. And so then we want him to be involved. But that's not the way that our God works. Our God is deeply involved in our everyday encounters. Guys, he cares about the physical things of this world. I can tell you that because 2,000 years ago, there was a cosmic collide of the universe. When the God of heaven came down to take on human flesh, and the physical and the spiritual became one. He was fully God and fully man. He walked among us and experienced the things of this physical world. They matter deeply, deeply to him. Our sex, our finances, the daily choices that we make, they can all be used for the glory of God. There isn't this spiritual, physical divide that God doesn't care about. And you know, I'm kind of preaching to the choir because the statistics have actually shown that your generation is more in touch with spirituality than the generation before you. Did you know that Gen Z is actually realizing that we have souls and spirits? Now, mind you, it's not turning them to the one true God. There's a lot of Eastern mysticism and things that people are messing around with, but there's this deep understanding that we have like this soul, this spirit within us. Your generation is getting in touch with that and understanding the material world isn't disconnected. It's connected. Which is why when we use the phrase, I lost my virginity, it just seems really empty. Because when you just say, I lost my virginity, like how do you just lose it? Like I lose my cell phone. Guys, I was looking for my cell phone on my way here. Like my husband had to call me, we were 5 minutes late. I was like, oh no, where put my phone? You lose your glasses, you lose things. But you don't just lose your virginity like a material object. No, anyone here, I promise you, anyone here who has already lost their virginity, or maybe you've been abused in some way, you can say that that physical part of yourself is deeply, deeply connected to your spirit. We are holistic beings. And you know who understands this? Satan. The enemy is prowling around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. To devour us. You know what else Scripture says devours us? The adulterous woman. An adulterous woman consumes, devours a man, then wipes her mouth and says, what's wrong with that? Satan is using sex as a weapon of spiritual warfare to get us distracted and off course and off mission of the vision and the purpose that God has for our lives. Joseph had a vision and a purpose and a calling from God. And he could have been thrown off course sleeping with Potiphar's wife. But he stayed the course, guys. He saw the spiritual battle. Do you see it? There's a story from a speaker that I listened to. Her 8-year-old son saw it. Guys, she's at the grocery store with her son, and they're standing there in the aisle to check out, and he's looking at the magazines. And you know what that means. Little 8-year-old boy's looking at these magazines, and he sees this cover of this woman on the front of this magazine, and she's dressed seductively, and she's got this look on her face, like the open mouth, seductive look. Like, you guys all know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm so sexy. And he looks at this picture and he yells out to his mama. He goes, Mama, she's gonna eat me. That little boy, at 8 years old, could see in the eyes of the adulterous woman that she's consuming and devouring. Man, that is the attitude of adultery and sexual sin. It devours us. So how do you battle it, guys? How do you battle it? Do you battle in spiritual warfare with a list of rules? spiritual warfare with the power of God.